There's one thing that guys who are good with women know that others don't. Do you know what that is? You can be rich as Elon Musk or as ripped as The Rock, but if you don't know this one thing, you're bound to suck with women. It's true. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen an ugly guy who parades with a hot, supermodel-like woman in his arms? Yes, right? So what does he know that others don't? We'll get to that in a bit, I promise you. Before that, let me first let you in on a secret. It's a secret about how to know what a woman thinks. I remember watching a TV show that features a famous dating guru. Someone in the audience asked him, "What's the best way to understand a woman and know what she thinks?" And the dating guru answered, "Easy, sit down with her and have a heart-to-heart talk. Women love that. If you give her the chance, she will tell you everything you want to know." When I heard that, I spit my coffee all over the sofa. I thought he was joking, but no, and his audience lapped up his nonsense like he was the second coming of Christ. The truth is, women will never tell you what she's really thinking. Why? Well, here's the funny thing. It's not that she wants to lie to you. There's a weird feature inside the female psyche that stops her from telling you what's truly on her mind. You see, the female mind is wired differently from us guys. Inside her brain, it's usually a huge mishmash of both thoughts and emotions. In fact, most of her thoughts are emotions. It's about the feelings she feels that dominates what she thinks. Now, here's the thing about feelings. They are subjective and can be hard to put into words. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt lousy and yet you couldn't pinpoint the cause or reason why? Well, imagine that scenario and amplify that by 100x. That's the life of a woman, dictated by emotions that she couldn't control. And guess what? If she can't even know what makes her happy or sad or cheerful or annoyed, she can't tell you why she's happy or sad or cheerful or annoyed. I mean, that makes perfect sense, right? So, if you think you can sit down and have a heart-to-heart talk with your woman, think again. Shit's not that simple. You're smart, and so you already know this. Now, if the heart-to-heart talk doesn't work, what does? How do we know what a woman thinks for real? The answer: never listen to what a woman says. Look at what she does. A woman says she'd love a sensitive man who cares about her feelings, but she dates a jerk who cheats on her. A woman says she loves someone tall, dark, and handsome, but she dates a short, balding man with a beer belly. A woman says she'd love a man who puts her first in his life, but she dates someone who treats her like rubbish. So, what's the deal here? Well, it all ties up to the one thing that some guys know that make them super attractive. If you know this one thing, you can be a jerk who cheats on your woman and she'll still stick with you, no matter what. If you know this one thing, you can be a fat piece of cow dung, but you can still have a horde of hot women lining up to date you. If you know this one thing, you can treat a woman like rubbish and she'll still pamper you like a baby prince. Now, listen, I'm not asking you to be a jerk or treat a woman like crap. All I'm saying is this. No matter what a woman says she wants, she doesn't know what she really wants. And what she wants is this one thing. And if you have this one thing, everything else doesn't even matter. What's this one thing? In Shogun method, we call it the love compeller. We'll talk about this next, I promise you. For now, there's something I want you to do for me. YouTube is acting weird lately, and they are hiding from many of my subscribers. Maybe someone doesn't like that I'm helping guys improve their relationship skills. I don't know. Anyway, to show YouTube that these videos are useful for guys like me and you, do this. Scroll down and click the like button. By liking this video, it'll make it appear on the timelines of my subscribers again. Also, if you're not a subscriber yet, click on the subscribe button. This way, you'll get my new videos whenever I publish them. As you already see, my content is fresh and unfiltered, and so you don't get anything like this elsewhere. You want this knowledge, trust me. So, go ahead and click like now. Also, subscribe to join us in our crusade to better ourselves as men because your woman deserves this. Click like now because I'll wait here. Done? Great. Let's continue by recapping what we have covered so far in 5 short points. 1. Why do women never do what they say they want to do? It's because their thought process is tainted by emotions. 2. To understand women, never listen to what they say, look at what they do. 3. Women say they want rich, handsome, and sensitive men who care about their feelings, but they never end up with rich, handsome, and sensitive men who care about their feelings. 4. You don't have to be handsome or sensitive to make a woman fall in love with you. And 5. With the love compeller technique, women will automatically find you irresistibly attractive, and it won't matter even if you're poor, ugly, and couldn't give a shit about how they feel. Got all 5 points? Good. So, what's the love compeller? Well, it's a technique that short-circuits a woman's mind into falling in love with you. And, as you will find out, it's not something a woman can control. If you do it right, the woman will feel compelled to love you. Sounds somewhat far-fetched, right? And yet I'm going to prove it to you that it's real. You see, women are remarkably predictable. You can think of the female mind as a black box. You don't know what's inside, but you can predict how it reacts to what you feed it. In geek speak, it means that as long as you control the input, you already know the output of the black box. Derek Rake calls this the black box hypothesis and Shogun method. We'll get into that later. For now, let's do a thought experiment. Imagine you walk up to a woman you know. It could be a friend, your girlfriend, or wife. Grab both her palms and push her. What do you think she'll do? She'll push back, right? Call it the woman's instinct, or whatever. She'll resist your push automatically without thinking at all. It's an instant reaction triggered by her lizard brain as a self-protection mechanism. Similarly, the female mind is wired to respond in a fixed way, because that's the way it is designed by nature. And the amazing thing is that every woman is wired the same way. And that's why Shogun method is universal. If it works on one woman, it works on another. They all share the same lizard brain that rules their thoughts, emotions, and actions. And so this is how the love compeller works. So listen up. For a woman to fall in love, there is one crucial component that must be present, and it's this: erotic tension. For a woman to fall in love with a man, there must be erotic tension between the woman and the man. Erotic tension is the difference between the sex zone and the friend zone. Sex is, after all, a way to resolve erotic tension. If there's no erotic tension, there's no sex. So what the love compeller does is to do one thing only: create erotic tension. And when there is erotic tension, she can't help but to fall in love with you. Makes sense so far? Good. You'd probably ask me next, Fredo, how does the love compeller create erotic tension then? Well, again, we get the answer from Shogun method, which says, erotic tension stems from anxiety punctuated by fear. In layman terms, your woman must feel anxious when she sees you, and it's also good to be somewhat fearful, too, sometimes. Imagine you're on the first date with a woman you really fancy. You'll feel nervous, right? You fear doing or saying a wrong thing that turns her off, and so you're extra careful with everything. And guess what? You want her to experience the same thing. If she doesn't feel somewhat anxious and fearful with you, then it simply means she doesn't give a shit. So, this is your answer. The love compeller creates erotic tension by making a woman anxious and fearful. In short, if you want to make a woman fall in love with you, give her anxiety. If she feels relaxed and comfortable with you, she'll only see you as a friend, never a lover. A woman doesn't have sex with her friends. Remember that. So, here's the deal. Erotic tension is what you want. And with Shogun method, the power to create erotic tension with any woman is what you will get. Recall how the female mind is like a black box to us men. Well, I like to think of Shogun method as a toolbox to hack the black box. It's an arsenal of psychological weapons a man can use to trigger erotic tension inside any woman. If you're a shogun, you already have this armory of subliminal weapons in your back pocket. Fractionation, implanted commands, intrigue pings, the Black Rose sequence. You can use any of these as the love compeller. But what if you're a pre-shogun and you don't yet have access to Shogun method? Well, if that's the case, here's what I recommend you do. Learn fractionation first. It's the foundational technique that underpins the entire Shogun method knowledge base. It's the first thing that every shogun learns, the beginning of his journey to masculine wisdom. The tricky thing about fractionation is that it's hard to find good training for it. In 2015, Derek Rake solved this problem by creating a masterclass where he teaches fractionation in detail. You can watch this masterclass at fractionationhypnosis.com. Here's the kicker though. Shogun method had existed since 2015, and I've heard rumors the community will be closed off to new joiners. I mean, I can understand that, because, come on, Shogun method is not exactly politically correct, right? If there's one thing feminists and social justice warriors hate the most, it would be Shogun method, no question. Another reason is that shoguns are not exactly welcoming to newbies. Well, we can understand that, right? After all, the fewer outsiders know Shogun method, the better it would be for us shoguns, right? For me, I think the opposite is true, because the more know Shogun method, the better, because we all need strong men as leaders. Masculinity is a positive trait, and no amount of feminist gaslighting will change that. It's a hill that us shoguns will die on. So here's the deal. Shogun method is not for everyone, and as the saying goes, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. This is an unpopular opinion, but I'll say it anyway. Not everyone deserves success, especially guys who have been brainwashed by feminist propaganda. If you're one of the few who are open-minded to learning new things, then becoming a shogun is what you should do next. If I am describing you, then here's what to do. Go to fractionationhypnosis.com and start your journey as a shogun. It's the best thing you can do for yourself as a man, your woman, and family. It won't be easy, but you're built for this. Trust me. Start with the online masterclass. Go to fractionationhypnosis.com or click the link inside the comments section now. Do it.